Hello out there, good morning. My name is Victor Oguinka. We're back again to Vanguard Live, and it is today in the news. It's been a very long weekend, and of course, all the screaming headlines here before us, and we are going to be doing justice to them in analysis, starting from business, security, and all the interesting highlights here. And yes, there's no better person to have here in the studio with Emmanuel Okogba. Emmanuel, you're welcome.
Good morning.
Yeah, a lot of news over the weekend. Do you have a major high point over that weekend that caught your fancy more than any other news?
Well, nothing big. Nothing big. I was kind of occupied over the weekend, so I did not really get a chance.
Yeah, good to be back. Okay, so let us rush straight to the dailies and see what we have there. We have on the front page of Vanguard, insecurity. Parents now afraid to send children to school. That's coming from UNICEF. I think education security, it is insecurity is telling on the education sector right now, and UNICEF has come out to say parents now afraid to send children to school.
It's scary. If you consider the case of this lady, this one that is still in captivity now, Sheila Sharibu, and then the case of the Chibok girls. Not till today, not all the girls are back. Some are still in captivity. Especially, so if you consider the cases of those girls and what's going on in the north, especially now, you understand why parents are scared or are dragging their feet in sending their because nobody wants to send the child to school and then from home hear that the child has been kidnapped. So I think it's something that should really be looked into.
Yeah, and look at the writers under that story. We deal with marauding herdsmen. That is from Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò in council. We deal with marauding herdsmen.
Yeah. Herdsmen are. We know herdsmen to be in the north. For some time now, they have moved over to the south and west, and some people are also disguising as these herdsmen now to cause confusion in some of our communities. Again, so when you say marauding herdsmen, we really should look into that also, because some of the people causing chaos are not herdsmen.
But they have they have herd of cattle.
Like I said, some of them disguise as herdsmen. Not all of them have. Those ones that cause confusion that are not herdsmen, they don't have cattle.
Okay,
except the array in which array has evidence.
Okay, so the regular herdsmen we know, growing up, the ones that have a very little boy of maybe 10, with head of cattle holding a stick. Those
controlling
his cattle. Those are headmen.
Yeah.
And those are, we can say those are the legit ones that we know. But suddenly we start seeing pictures of some with guns. So it becomes dangerous the moment that start playing out.
Those ones are killer herdsmen. I think that's what they refer to them.
Okay, so they were marauding herdsmen. That is Kanka for talking about the southwest now. That is region. The new security policy for Lagos coming, says Sanwo-Olu. The governor of Lagos, they're talking about new policy coming to Lagos.
Like I said, he has hit the ground running, and we mentioned in a previous show that the security situation in Lagos is becoming a cause for concern. Especially that Ikorodu area where you have a lot of kidnapping and killing and cultism. So there's actually a need to bring out new policies that will check the excesses of some of these people.
Okay, then efforts to combat menace in place. That is Ekiti government.
Yeah,
Ekiti is one of the most hit places, especially in the southwest of this headmen. They've been just over the weekend. I think on Friday there was a story of a headman
beheaded his girlfriend.
Yes, something like that, and there are many more of them. We've read cases also in some parts of Oyo town in Oyo State.
There was one time where the ex-governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayo, she had to urge the people in Ekiti State that they should take up arms against these herdsmen.
Constituted vigilante local authors.
It still boils down to the security issue. if a state is safe, there will be no need arming yourself with guns to protect yourself. It still boils down to how we need to step up our security game.
Okay, then lastly, we have Buhari Northwest governors working to tackle insurgency. That is presidency.
Of course, it should be part of his second term agenda.
Yeah, they've said that in no distant time that it will still be a thing of the past. So we wait, but right now there's trouble in our hands talking about parents now afraid to send children to school. It means that we may start seeing children that are supposed to be in school, not in school in one region, and due to insecurity and other things there. That story is on page 5 of the Vanguard. Okay, away from that, we are back to Apapa gridlock. Truck drivers flout presidential orders as chaos persists.
I was wondering. I've also mentioned in the previous edition of this show that when the president was coming for his campaign, overnight they cleared that road.
Yeah.
And that's a directive came from the state government. But now that this directive came from the federal government, these truck drivers are still adamant. That's it persistent. That's what we done. Is there? I think there are some powers in quotes now that are, will I say, stronger than the federal government, because I don't understand how a president, the number one citizen of a country, we say I want that road cleared, for the fact that road has been constituting nuisance. I think yesterday there was an incident that occurred on that road of where a container fell on a car.
Saturday, yeah.
We have had cases of security agencies working on that road killed by tankers. Over time, it has been like that, and then the president says, I want to make this place safe. I want to ease the traffic on that place, and then some people are still insisting on parking their containers there.
Really sad, really sad. But now that the president has, said what I'm sure they will be monitoring this from the presidency, and just maybe they will come out en masse in full force just one day, and then there might just be. I know there is going to be peace. There's going to be free movement in that place very soon.
Exactly, but the thing is,
it's just embarrassing.
I believe those trucks came from somewhere. So what I'm trying to understand is how difficult it is to send those trucks back to where they came from.
Those trucks are perceived to be coming to load fuel.
Yes. From
that region to other parts of the country.
But the thing is, I don't think this thing has been like this from the beginning. Yeah. It started at a particular time. So how was it working before? I think they need to look at this thing properly, because if there's a way they can make this thing easy, all the trucks should not be coming to Lagos.
At least there's another port.
Yes.
At Port Harcourt.
And then if they all should be coming to Lagos, they should make. I know that, or I read that they made provision for that, a parking space where these trucks can park. It's just that maybe they have not started using those places. If not, if all those trucks are coming to Lagos, then there should be provision for where they all can park, pending when they are ready to attend to them. Because some of those trucks stay on that place for over 2 weeks. And it really constitutes nuisance. And you need to see how they use that road, defecate on it, urinate, some eat and drop. The road is just a mess at this moment.
Terrible. Okay, and while we still wait for the final word on the Apapa gridlock, it is still what it is right now. It looks like nothing has changed. I used that road last week, and the truth is it's as worse as ever. It's as worse as ever. So Apapa gridlock, truck drivers flout presidential order as chaos persists. That's on page 10 on the Vanguard. Then going to page 15, we said bailout funds are structured loans to states coming from CBN.
Of course.
Do they know, the states, do they know that they are structured loans?
Of course. Before they give out, before the central bank give out these loans, they must have terms that they give to them that they will read and understand. Before they will sign the dotted lines to collect the loans, they must read through. You get? And the reason for these bailout funds, most of these states, it's just a few states that can really generate their own revenue to take care of what they need in the states. For some states that cannot generate their own revenue, or their generation of revenue is very, very low, they depend on these bailout funds to pay worker salaries, to construct roads, and to do the rest. So I don't think CBN will just dash out money. it should be a loan.
That at some point, that was what people were thinking, that you just don't throw out money to these people. And I think there's a structured way of how they pay back.
Okay, so for whoever was thinking that it's free money, now we know that it's not free money.
That is to the public. I'm sure the states in question
they need to pay
know
back
already.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But the public,
there was a time with Aregbesola talking about these loans coming in from the government in form of bailout and everything. It mentioned that in the end, when they deduct the money they were supposed to send as the revenue for the month, it amounts, sometimes they get maybe 500 million, 900 million for the month, and it becomes very difficult for it to go for that kind of money to go around. So he was talking about why, because he was owing staff salary, and then it became a very, very long process, and it was very worrisome. So he was trying to say that money wasn't coming from anywhere, not even from the federal government, because they must have reduced some of the things that they borrowed them, and that is exactly what the CBN is talking about.
I think some of these states are just lazy. All they do is depend on federal government bailout and federal government allocation. Some of these states have resources that have refused to tap into.
So is it the states now, or the federal government is making them lazy?
Some of them are just lazy on their own.
Okay.
Like for a state, I don't think there's a state in Nigeria that does not have one resource that they can tap into to generate revenue. Some of them just sit back, relax, wait for the end of the month when they will collect money from government. And you talked about what's the state doing with 500 million naira? What can they do with that? It's nothing. They cannot do anything with that. So I think some of these states need to look inwards, because if they continue like this, they'll continue repaying these loans, and at the end of it, they will not have anything to use for development of their states. So they need to look inwards, look for other ways to generate revenues in the state, to reduce cases like this of depending on bailouts from the CBN and paying back at the end of the day and ending up with almost nothing.
Talking about states and their resources, and like just over the weekend there was the news of Ondo states, having bitumen, and yet we still have to, bring in bitumen from another country.
Most people, I think this the case of Zamfara killing over gold, and it was what brought the attention of a lot of people to the fact that Zamfara really had gold. So if that had not happened, most people will not even know that Zamfara has something like that they can tap into to generate revenue for themselves.
So now that they discovered gold, at Zamfara, I remember some of the side talks, because people were actually waiting for the manifestation of gold in Zamfara before they know the sharing formula. Because they will always talk about petroleum being from the south, and it becomes the federal government property, and Zamfara is laying claims to the gold instead of the federal government, just like it is with petroleum.
Okay, I was thinking, like you said, we're waiting for the
final manifestation, but unfortunately it turned ugly, and it became something that people would have to shed blood on. Very, very sad one there. Okay, bailout funds are structured loans to states. That is CBN, talking about the money that they've been giving to states over time, and of course there must be a paying method. It's not free money. So on page 8, ministerial nominees, governorship candidates battle orders for state slots. Okay. That's on page 8. Governorship candidates.
Okay, President Buhari will be forming his new cabinet
very soon.
Everybody is trying to get, in this case, governors that contested and lost the last election, and I think they will form the bulk of. To be fair, they will form the bulk of Buhari's administration if he wants to be fair to his party.
No, I need to,
because I believe when it comes to this, some form of party politics will play out.
Okay.
You have people nominating, and at the end of the day, it will be those people that contributed in one way or the other to his winning the second term. And if you look closely, those people are people that contested
and lost. So what contribution did they possibly make?
They can when
they lost their home ground
during his campaign. At least during his campaign, I think even though they lost, some of those states where you had APC candidates losing the election, Buhari did well in those states.
So he earned his own.
So those governors, they lost their governorship election But in some of those states,
due to their own performance.
Yes.
So if they were judged to not have performed well by the people, and we adopted those people to be ministers, what does that say about what we expect as ministers in the next 4 years?
That's left for Mr. President.
Okay. So ministerial nominees, governorship candidates battle orders for state slots. Of course, it is indeed left for the president, and I think before the end of this month there should be a nominee sent to the Senate for approval. Yes. So we are going to wait. At least we are not going to wait for another 6 months to have this sorted out. On page 41, we have 2019 polls. Why army got into trouble. GOC is talking about the participation of the military.
The report is about the 2019 elections. Like the report talks about the army officer in question saying they got into trouble because they refused to compromise the 2019 election like some people were expecting them to. Like they did it because of democracy. That's just the summary of what that report is about. Because they got into trouble because they refused to compromise the 2019 elections.
Okay, if you're just joining us, my name is Victor Ogwinka, and it is Today in the News. And I'm here with Mandela Okogba analyzing what went down over the weekend and what we have on the national dailies today. And we're still on the Vanguard. Okay, so in other INEC server controversy, article denies planning street protests. That's on page 9. You've been monitoring that story.
There was a report over the weekend from the European Union that after the election, the losing party PDP, they alleged that there's an INEC server that the APC manufactured some results from.
Yeah.
But the report, according to the EU now, denied that allegation. You get it? So 3 parties now, the EU, the APC, and INEC, have all denied that there's nothing like that. A server. Why PDP is insisting that there is a server like that. But a part of the report also said that pointed some people as some of the problems they have in the election, like the parties, the leading parties, and then the security agencies. And now PDP is saying that the EU report has proven that they had that they were right in some aspects, that the security agencies made the election difficult, they compromised the election. So that's just the kind of drama that is playing out over.
So now the Nigerian army is trying to explain what happened then, talking about the INEC server too. They've come out to say no, there's no server, and the case is in court. So we are just going to wait and see how much PDP can prove that there was indeed
actually a
server. And then of course I hope INEC has all the proof to show that there was no server. But then again, is there supposed to be a server or not? Talking about having an election, is server supposed to be? We have 36 states of the federation with the FCT. I think a server should help you have a coordinating point where results can be
transmitted to.
Yes, maybe archived or for database sake. So is there supposed to be a server?
In the run up to the election, did INEC say anything like they will be having a server?
We don't know what they had with the people, the ad hoc staff.
If they are denying that they never had the server, then it means there was no provision for server, and maybe we should just go see they put them in charge of conducting the election.
Exactly. So we should indeed.
So until, like you said, until PDP can prove otherwise, let's just stick with what. Let's just stay in the middle for the meantime until we get a final verdict that there was actually a server or there was no server.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move away from that and go straight to the animal kingdom. Gorilla orders probe of Kano Zoo, 6.8 million swallowed by gorilla.
It's funny how we are still seeing things like this. There was a case of a snake swallowing jam money the other time. Now it's gorilla. I think there was another one again. There was monkey.
Yeah.
And now these animals are becoming wealthier than
humans.
Humans that work 9 to 5 and 8 to 6. It's ridiculous.
Really, and indeed, how did we get to this? Where we.
But what
get others probe of Kano Zoo?
How can gorilla swallow 6.8 million?
So how are they going to make this probe? the zoo? Are they going to? I don't know.
I think the gorilla is wealthy enough to get himself a lawyer.
A lawyer. Okay, that's on the lighter note. Okay, and then, but indeed, it is as serious as it is. Ganduje, others probe of Kano Zoo, 6.8 million swallowed by gorilla. Okay, let's just leave that where it is and move straight to Nigeria's world's 16th least peaceful country. There's something wrong with this.
It's a report by the Global Peace Index, and like you said, there's something wrong with this headline because Nigeria is 16 from the back.
Yes, and you know when you see 16, you know you just want to.
Out of a total of 148 countries, that were ranked, we are 16th from behind.
From behind, that's.
Well, basically
we used to be in that region, you know, and considering the parameters that was used, you know, to make this judgment, talking about conflicts with other nations, militarization within, and then general security of the people. You know, then you begin to wonder the other 15 countries, you know, above Nigeria.
But like we said, is 16 from behind. So it means we are not peaceful, because if you look at it, like everything you mentioned now, the yardsticks they use for the ranking were basically security.
Of course.
Security.
It's a peace ranking. So
yes. In our lead headline, we talked about how parents are refusing. It still boils down to security.
Yeah.
So if we are 16 from behind, I think it's fair enough.
I think it's terrible.
It's fair. They are being fair to us. At least we are not 148 out of 148. It means that still some countries doing worse than Nigeria.
Okay, well, indeed, just maybe. But then again, I'd like to put the structure and the size of Nigeria into play. You know, comparing ourselves to some of these countries. There's no way an Iran, a Syria will not be in that list of troubled nation.
Sudan should be one.
You understand? Now, if you look at the kind of country we are hoping to build, you know, when democracy started in Nigeria in 1999, we're looking at the 2020 vision. There was one vision 2020. We are 6 months away from 2020. We were hoping that when that plan was going on, we were going to have a Dubai-esque kind of nation as it stands right now. But talking about 16 from behind, 6 months to achieving a vision 2020. You know, I think that is really embarrassing.
It shows that it's easier. Things are easier said than done.
No, so nothing has really changed.
We're doing a lot of talking and no actions.
Yeah, unfortunately. So that report is on page 9. If you see it, Nigeria world's 16th least peaceful country report. Okay, before we go, let us say something on health and living. Say Aisha Buhari, Sanwo-Olu seek end to drug abuse.
The rate of
can there be end to drug abuse in any nation?
Well, they can minimize the way there can be a sensitization to create the awareness to reduce, but cutting it down is I think it's an uphill task.
But it is worth the goal.
Yes.
Just give it a shot.
You can give it a shot.
Yeah. Of course, you can aim to end, and eventually you might just have done well to
eradicate,
to minimize, to reduce, and that would have been a good present. So good one. Talking about the first lady, she said now she's not a first lady.
Not the wife of the president.
Not the wife of the president anymore. So she has to go out and act like the first lady, and I think this is a positive
She's
step.
contributing her quota to making sure that Nigeria is healthy, and that's a good one for that.
Yeah, and I think she's doing well so far. Anyway, okay. On the Vanguard today, we have financial Vanguard talking about all the business news that you may get, and we have interesting columnists there: Shobawale, Eriboyo, and Owe Lakemfa, all on the Vanguard. So do get a copy and don't miss out on the big news. Away from the Vanguard, we go to the Sun. And the major headline: PDP APC fight over EU report on 2019 polls with the riders. Observers comment confirmation of rigging. PDP. Then your claim myopic. Keyamo replies opposition party. It's vindication of our position on INEC server. Bondigi.
Yeah, exactly what we talked about earlier.
So that is it. Then Atiku versus Buhari in court said, I have confidence in God. That is Atiku, talking about a threat to go on protest and everything, and saying no, he's living off of God to go on with. And on the Sun, we have how would secure Southeast from X-Men. Ohanaeze Youth. Southwest is talking about how they will do the same. The Southeast say how they will do the same. So all on the front page of the Sun. Away from that, we go to the Nations. 431 debtors owe AMCON between 1 billion and 10 billion. 431 debtors. That's huge.
That's a large number.
Yeah. Okay, and of course, the story of the EU report sparks fresh APC PDP spat over INEC server. You have that on the front page of the Nation, and say police battle bandits, kidnappers. Okay, we won't reissue certificates. They've done that once, haven't they?
Why?
Yes. I think there's okay. Good. You say why we won't reissue certificates. Okay. The law backs you. Ajimobi tells fired council chiefs. Okay. That's telling them to use the law.
Yeah, the council chiefs that were sacked by
Seyi Makinde.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it. Okay, on the front page of the Punch, the public secondary school turned into hideouts by hoodlums as facilities drops. Government has abandoned school monitoring. That is NUT. You see, this actually corroborates the Vanguard story that says that
you need to see the state of some of these public schools. And I saw.
And it turns out that we have very, very bright prospects in those schools. We've had them here, and anytime I still remember what we had on May 27, here at Vanguard Live, it makes me feel like, yes, Nigeria is still on the right. But looking at the state of the school and parents getting scared of sending their work to school, it is really a disconnect to the future we are hoping to get.
It's just a pity that we have misplaced priorities.
Yeah,
a lot of misplaced priorities.
Indeed, that's what it looks like there. So, controversy on the Guardian said controversy intensified over EU election reports. Yes, those are the controversies we would continue to face, until we have a final answer to that. Then Africa needs $98 million to contain Ebola next month, says WHO. Are we still on this matter?
Ebola is still in some African countries. We are just happy that we're able to get rid of ours.
But if it's still in Africa, then we are not 100% safe.
Well, we should do the needful. We need how much is stated there? $98 million to contain Ebola.
Yes, it is not too much. We have 6.8 from Gorilla already, so we can start.
We can start from there.
Yes.
Once we retrieve that money from.
Let us invest it in a just cause, and we are going to be remembered for it, really, because there is no point in having all this money and we still go on borrowing. Okay, so if really we can retrieve all this money and still not put it to proper use, then let us invest in.
I'd like to go back. I talked about states generating internal revenue.
Mm-hmm.
That money came from, according to the report, just this the Salah holidays, the break, where some people went for sightseeing at the zoo.
Yeah.
That money was generated just from that period. Now imagine what that money will have done in that state.
Or say the least for that zoo.
For that zoo.
So the zoo made 6.8 million in
just
4 days or 5 days.
For that period.
And the gorilla
swallowed it. But I think the point is how states can.
You see, so it means that generating the money is not even the issue. It means that they are probably generating this money, but it is being diverted
to some. That's why I said we have misplaced priorities. Some people will just sit down and pocket the money.
Okay,
some gorillas overnight and swallow
the money. That's really unfortunate. Okay, and that is the newspaper review that we have here. So quickly we rush to the social media and we'll check out what people are talking about. We have hashtag Monday Motivation, Jalingo, Samuel, Dubai, Amen, Jesus, Zamfara, Release, Dear God, and Isaac. So let us check out Monday Motivation. You're supposed to be giving us Monday Motivation here also every day. At least you give us something that you come up with. Okay. So I'll ask you that next time you come.
No, I can come up with something.
Okay, come up with something.
You clear your own part. Make sure you clear your own part, even if you are going to borrow a cutlass to do that.
Clear your own part.
Yes.
That's a very scary.
No, what I mean is you can chart your own course.
Yeah.
But in doing that, you might need one or two help from one or two people.
Okay.
But that does not change the fact that you are
clearing your path.
Your own path, you are charting a course for yourself.
Okay, yeah, that's coming from Imalelo, so you can just clear your own path, even if you need to do the cutlass instead of a tractor, Emmanuel.
No, even if you need to borrow a cutlass from somebody to do that.
Okay, great. Then we have Dr. Dipo Awojide. Now that you're a graduate, you cannot blame your university for not providing you with information and training anymore. Take charge and be responsible for yourself. Your personal and professional development is your own responsibility. Take charge. Yeah. You seem to be in tandem with what Dipo is talking about. Taking charge of your own.
We are
the same WhatsApp.
We are on the same.
Okay. Leading Nigeria's conversation. They say a man dies when he refuses to stand up for that which is right. A man dies when he refuses to stand up for justice. A man dies when he refuses to take a stand for that which is true. Martin Luther King.
Basically, a man dies when he refuses to stand up for what is right.
For what is right. Okay, and Oche Patrick Fred has an acronym for Monday here, and it says maybe this day is not one of your favorites, but never forget that every day you wake up is an amazing gift, and it is up to you to make it count. Very correct. Fantastic. Okay, let's just take one last one from Honorable Benny Baka. He said, you may not have been enjoying your life, you may not like your job, but as long as you live and don't have an alternative job, wake up early, show up early, dress properly, no matter the quality of outfit, be diligent, and avoid being a headache on social media.
Especially in Nigeria, where you don't have too many people are looking to take your job from you.
Okay, so really, so that is what it is. Then going to going to Jalingo, moving away from Monday motivation straight to Jalingo. Jalingo is in the news. There are some states that, before now, you only hear about them maybe once a year. They just come and go. And Jalingo, Taraba, one of those places. So
Gombe.
Yeah, okay, Gombe.
Those kind of
okay,
you hardly hear about them.
So recently when we start talking about rice.
You hardly hear about them.
Okay, Jalingo said, take your fitness seriously and stay alert. See Jalingo, no warning. What's happening? Woke up to the news that Jalingo is on fire. Armed bandits on the shooting spree, killing people like chickens. Please remind me what the election result was like in Jalingo again. That's
still the same insecurity.
Okay, so Comrade Adeyanju said, Jalingo on fire, X-Men shooting everywhere, residents cramp for help. This is really, really unfortunate. We are hoping that the security will just go there and do something very, very urgently to that state.
Our house will go out to those who are lost.
Yes, you can see pictures of people running Taskita. It is just dark. Then I think we have a video from the Air Force having a show of strength and attack on Sambisa forest. Maybe we should just see that video, talking about insecurity and the reactions to some of those things. Oh. Okay, that's the Air Force, doing all the bombardment on that one. Really, this Jalingo issue is something very terrible. I think it's happened the early hours of today, and it has to be the major talking point for today.
Yeah.
We are just talking about insecurity, and this is playing out.
Exactly, like you said, it happened there. I believe it happened there because no paper carried it.
Yeah.
So it should be something that happened overnight, and it's really sad.
Very sad, very sad. Okay, and we are hoping that then there is a swift and prompt response from the security operatives in Nigeria to ensure that we don't have another Jalingo. Is almost a peaceful state because you hear almost nothing about them, but it is what it is right now. Okay, so let us look at one more thing there, Zamfara. Okay, we hope this is not something about Zamfara and Jalingo. Okay, still talking about insecurity. It is insecurity in Zamfara. I mean, talking about what is happening in Jalingo, and people are making reference to starting from Zamfara now. It is Jalingo. Nigeria is trending. Let us see what people are saying about Nigeria. There is a okay. This doesn't look very good for Nigeria, like you always say. So
now I'm wondering why one would be surprised that we are ranked 16 from behind on the global peace index. Is like I said, they are even being fair. The ranking is even fair considering when you see this kind of thing, this kind of stories making the news every day. You begin to wonder when things like this will come to an end. Imagine you cannot sleep with your two eyes closed.
Okay, there's a tweet here that was credited to PwC, and they said world largest economy in 2050, some 31 years back, and in that year,
Nigeria is what?
Nigeria is 14 on that list.
Amen.
With China, India. Do we have to wait for 2050 to come this close to having
about 31 years from now?
Yes, that's like forever. We are not sure what will happen 31 years from now. Will there even still be the world? So you can join the trends on social media and everything. Everybody is talking about it. Monday motivation and the developing incidents at Jalingo and all of the talking points around it. Okay, just ensure that you stay tuned with Vanguard Live. A lot of news and shows coming your way from sports to business and of course entertainment. Will be all there giving you all the news as it's break. Okay, that has been the today in the news, and my name is Victor Owinka, and alongside Emmanuel Okoba make this happen. And of course we have the Uban behind the camera doing his thing. Okay, so we come your way again tomorrow. See you next time.
Have a great week.
A great week.